Elijah challenges the prophets of Baal to a confrontation on Mount Carmel to prove who is the true God. God responds to Elijah's sacrifice with fire from heaven, demonstrating his power in bringing the people back to true worship. The story of Elijah's race with Ahab's chariots is found in the book of 1 Kings, chapter 18, and is part of one of the most dramatic and significant events of Elijah's ministry. Context: during Ahab's reign, Israel had turned away from the worship of the true God and turned to Baal, the god of the Canaanites, under the influence of Jezebel, Ahab's wife, who was a devoted follower of Baal. Elijah, a prophet of God, was called to confront this apostasy and call the people back to the worship of the Lord. The challenge on Mount Carmel: Elijah challenges the prophets of Baal to a confrontation on Mount Carmel to prove who is the true God. The prophets of Baal prepare a sacrifice and invoke their God but receive no response. In contrast, Elijah invokes the God of Israel, who responds with fire from heaven, consuming the sacrifice, the altar, and even the water around it. Rain after the drought. After the demonstration of God's power on Mount Carmel, Elijah prays for rain, which had not fallen in Israel for 3 years. God answers Elijah's prayer by sending a dark cloud and bringing abundant rain to the land. The race with Ahab's chariots: after the rain, Elijah tells Ahab to go up and eat because a heavy rain is coming. Elijah then prepares to return to Jezreel, Ahab's city. The Spirit of the Lord comes upon Elijah, and he runs ahead of Ahab's chariot, outpacing it and arriving in Jezreel before him. This event is significant for several reasons. Demonstration of God's power: Elijah's race with Ahab's chariots is a dramatic example of God's power working in the lives of his servants. It shows how God strengthened Elijah to accomplish an apparently impossible task. Testimony against idolatry: Elijah's race occurs after the demonstration of God's power over Baal on Mount Carmel, reinforcing the authority and dominion of the God of Israel over all false gods. Fulfillment of prophecies: Elijah's race is also a fulfillment of God's words to Ahab, predicting that Elijah would return to Jezreel after the drought and the rain, 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 45. Overall, Elijah's race with Ahab's chariots is an impressive episode that highlights God's power, Elijah's obedience, and the victory over idolatry and apostasy.